Welcome to the channel, thank you for checking out today's video. In this video we're going to be going around London with a Sony A6700, showing you some tips and tricks on how to set up your Sony A6700 for street photography, and also giving you some advice about approaching strangers to taking their photos. So let's jump straight into it. So as already mentioned, we're going to be using the Sony A6700, and the lens we're going to be using is the Tamron 28 to 75mm f2.8 full frame E-mount lens. And yes, this is a full frame lens on a crop sensor body, and the reason we're using this lens is it's the first one that I grabbed out my camera bag, and to show you that you don't need a specific lens for street photography. So now you've seen the setup, let's head on out and start taking some photos. Now it's all well and good of me showing you my camera and lens that I'm going to be using, but why do so many people struggle with street photography? Well, the majority of people would say that it's going up to strangers and asking would they like their photo taken. Then they have the fear of rejection when the person says no, then they're left with the feeling of embarrassment and the knock-on effect it has on their confidence and self-worth. So to protect themselves from this potential embarrassment of rejection, they simply don't ask the person in the first place. Now I would like to tell you that there's some magic tablet you can take, or an inspirational quote from someone famous, that are going to wash away all these fears of embarrassment. But that's not the truth. What we're going to need is some practical steps and techniques that are going to help us overcome this fear and gain our confidence. So let's jump into the first technique, which I call social media. And this technique is very simple. We're going to be offering something in return for a photo. And this technique works really well for any street vendors or small businesses. Now I've already got the photo in mind, it's the person serving in the blue van in front of me. Now if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm just pressing record on my screen so that you can see my settings. I'm going to be approaching them, offering something in return for a photo. Let me show you how I do it.
Excuse me, is it okay just to get a picture of you two for our Facebook group, London Facebook group? Hopefully, yeah, trying to send you some business, hopefully. Is that okay?
Now these are my camera settings, which I'm going to run through later on in the video. And here's the final edited photo. So as you saw there, it's a very quick interaction, but they were willing to accept the offer of a social media post in return for a photo. Then once the photo is all edited and ready to go, I'll go on Facebook, find any groups that recommend places to eat in London, share my photo and share the name of their business. That way their business gets a little bit of free advertisement, and so does my photography. It's a win-win for both parties. Now admittedly we still need that confidence to go up to them and ask would they like their photo taken, and some people may not be comfortable saying about the social media post, but what we can do is have this in reserve should they ask what the photo is for. Let me give you an example.
Is it okay just to get a picture, sir? Excellent.
So as you saw there, we asked him would he like his photo taken, and in this situation he just nodded and agreed that it's okay to take one. But most people will turn around and say what is the photo being used for, and then we can revert back to the social media technique that I showed you last time and say that we're promoting small businesses. If they feel they're going to benefit from your photograph, then they're a lot less likely to refuse having it taken. Now the biggest problem with street photography and taking photos of strangers is society has made us believe as photographers we're doing something wrong. You'll often hear people stating that you need their permission to take photos out in public, or that you need their consent, but this isn't the case. Out in public you have the right to take photos of anything that you see. The thing to remember is that no one has the right to privacy out in public. So that's really important to remember. You are not doing anything wrong by taking photographs. If someone tells you to stop, then they are in the wrong. So we don't need that fear of rejection, because it's perfectly legal to take anybody's photo out in public. We're not asking for their permission, so to speak. We're just being nice and courteous and making sure they're comfortable having their photo taken. Now as we begin to walk here through London, I'm going to run through my settings and tell you why I'm using them. Now we're in full manual mode on the camera, and my shutter speed is set to 1/250th of a second to take into account the overcast day. Should it brighten up throughout the day, then I will increase my shutter speed. I'm going to be choosing my aperture in the moment, depending on my subject and the background and how much bokeh or background blur I require. My ISO setting, I'm going to set this to auto mode, so I'm not faffing about having to worry about changing this. And for the same reason, I'm going to be setting the white balance to auto also. Now the next way we can take someone's photo is just by taking it without asking for consent or permission, because we have every right to. Now doing it this way is a little bit bolder, and we may have to deal with the consequences of people's actions after we've taken the photo. So in this shot I'm waiting for the gentleman to enter the scene before taking the photo. And here's the edited photo. Now if this gentleman was to come over and ask why I was taking his photograph, I have two options. The first, and what I recommend doing, is educating the person on the laws of taking photos and how it's legal to do so. Or the second option, which I don't recommend doing, but if you feel uncomfortable or you feel intimidated by the person, tell them that you wasn't taking a photo of them specifically and ask them would they like the photo deleted. Now most of the time this perceived threat of someone coming over and telling us to stop what we're doing isn't actually the case. 99 times out of 100, most people are in their own little world, concentrating on what they're doing and not paying attention to the world around them. We have this perceived concept that everybody's looking at us and we're the centre of attention, when the truth is, no one really cares. Having the mindset of someone that knows they're doing something they're perfectly entitled to be doing, and if any issues should arise, then they're able to deal with them in a calm and mature manner, is a very, very powerful mindset to have. In this next clip, I'm going to show you what happens when someone refuses to have their picture taken and how we can deal with it. Now I'm going to make some small chat with this gentleman that runs this stall, and he's going to refuse to have his photo taken. So let's look at our encounter.
You don't have any Spider-Man ones, do you?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I'm afraid not.
No, alright, no worries, buddy. How much is the Jaws one up there?
£12.
£12, okay.
I mean, it's a friendly neighborhood, but we have no Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, that's all right. It's all right, just get a picture of you in your stall.
Not me.
Not you, no.
So as you just saw there, he said that he didn't want to be in the photo. Many people would say this is embarrassing, but who's it really embarrassing for? I don't feel embarrassed because he's moved away out of the photo, and I still have the option of whether I want to take the photo or not. Now even though I decided to take a picture of the market stall, my idea for this photo was to capture his facial expression with all the different colours from the signs in the background. But as he didn't want to be in the shot, I simply said have a good day, and we both went on our ways. Instead of letting this encounter affect us, let's accept that gentleman's decision not to be in the photo and see how we get along in the next request.
Could I just get a picture of you while you stand here? Perfect.
Now as I'm taking this shot, I've also got the backup of the social media technique that I taught you earlier, just in case she should ask what it's going to be used for.
Excellent. We'll probably be back for lunch. Do you want to see? Oh, they'll be on this big screen here.
And this particular lady was extremely happy to have her photo taken, but not only that, she was happy with the results and even offered us an extremely generous discount if we was to eat in the restaurant, which was a double bonus. So by not letting our previous rejection affect us, and by not taking it personally, we've carried on with our day and had some excellent experiences with other people. Now I was going to share with you loads more examples and interactions with other people, but as we're coming up to the 9-minute mark, what I'm going to do is split this video into 2 parts. So if you're enjoying this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you've had any bad experiences or positive experiences in the comment section down below. If you want to see that second part to this video, please hit subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button so you get notified when it's released. But that's going to wrap up this part 1. We look forward to seeing you in part 2. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and whilst you're here, why don't you check out this video also? Thank you very much for watching everybody.